In today's video, I'm going to show you exactly how to use the inspection bubble in Make to debug your automations, trace data through every module, and review historical scenario runs with complete confidence. Make, formerly known as Integromat, is one of the most powerful no-code automation platforms available, and knowing how to read the inspection bubble is the difference between guessing why your scenario broke and knowing precisely what went wrong and where. If this sounds like something that will save you hours of frustration, please hit that like button and subscribe so you never miss a tutorial. And let's get right into it. The first thing you need to do is trigger a live test of your scenario so the inspection bubble actually has data to show you. Head into your scenario inside the Make Scenario Builder, and you'll see a button in the bottom left corner of the screen labeled Run Once. Click that. This executes your automation a single time using real data without activating any scheduling you might have set up, so it's completely safe to use during development. Once the execution completes, look closely at the modules along your scenario flow. You'll notice a small numbered circle, or bubble, appearing above each module that processed data. The number inside that bubble tells you exactly how many operations, meaning individual data units or bundles, that particular module handled during that run. If you see a 0 or no bubble at all on a module, that's already a meaningful clue that your data didn't reach that stage, which immediately narrows down where the problem lives. Now that the bubbles are visible, click directly on the numbered bubble above any module you want to inspect. This opens what's called the Execution Inspector, a panel that breaks down everything that happened inside that module during the run. Inside the inspector, you'll find two primary drop-down categories, and understanding both of them is essential for effective debugging. The first is Input. This shows you the exact variables, parameters, and payloads that were sent into the module before it did any work. If your module is failing or producing unexpected results, checking the input first tells you whether the correct data even arrived in the first place. The second category is Output, and this shows you the structure and content of whatever the module returned after it ran, whether that's a response from an API, a newly created record, or a transformed data object. By comparing what went in with what came out, you can immediately spot data mapping errors, missing fields, or unexpected values that are causing problems further down the flow. This is the most direct debugging workflow Make gives you, and getting comfortable with it will dramatically speed up how quickly you can fix broken scenarios. When you're working with real-world automations, the data inside those input and output panels is rarely simple. You'll often encounter nested structures, meaning arrays that contain objects that themselves contain more arrays. Don't let that intimidate you. Click the small arrow icons, usually displayed as a plus sign or a downward chevron, next to any data key to expand it and see what's inside. You can drill down as many levels as you need until you find the exact field you're looking for. This is especially important when you're working with WebKit payloads, JSON responses from external APIs, or data from apps like Google Sheets or Airtable that return rows as collections of fields. If a value you're mapping into a later module looks blank or wrong, expanding the output section of an earlier module is almost always where you'll find the answer. Take your time reading the data carefully before drawing conclusions, because rushing this step is where most debugging sessions go sideways. Finally, let's talk about one of Make's most underrated features, inspecting data from runs that already happened. You don't have to re-trigger a scenario every single time you want to investigate. Navigate to the History tab of your scenario, which you'll typically find near the top of the scenario page. There you'll see a list of all previous executions organized by date and time, along with their status, whether they completed successfully, hit an error, or were stopped mid-flow. Find the specific run you want to review and click Details. Make will reload the full scenario builder in a read-only state, meaning you can see the exact flow as it looked during that particular execution. And here's the part that makes this genuinely powerful. All the inspection bubbles are still there and still fully clickable. You can open every module and examine its input and output data exactly as it was during that historical run. This is invaluable when a client reports an issue from 3 days ago, when something went wrong overnight while you were sleeping, or when you want to compare a successful run side by side against a failed one to spot the difference. The History tab essentially gives you a time machine for your automations, and once you start using it, you'll wonder how you ever debugged without it. And that covers everything you need to confidently use the inspection bubble in Make. You've learned how to trigger a safe test run with the Run Once button, how to read the numbered bubbles to see which modules process data, how to explore the input and output panels to trace exactly what your scenario is doing at every stage, how to expand nested data structures so nothing stays hidden, and how to use the History tab to revisit any past execution in full detail. With these tools in your hands, debugging becomes a methodical, confident process rather than a frustrating guessing game. Save this video so you can come back to these steps whenever you need a refresher. And if you have a specific scenario that's giving you trouble, drop it in the comments below. I read every one and I'd love to help you work through it. See you in the next one.